Hey, Hard Times guy here, and hey, let me get this. Forgot I had that thing on. There, that's better. I got some of the guys here today, and you can't keep them from getting in your face, so I had my mask on. And while I'm doing this, they're back there, and I got their chairs back there, and they're each assigned to a chair. I can't always keep them in their chair either, but uh, most of the time I can, and so I can take my mask off again. Can't get them to social distance. Can't get them to. That dog's got a dog. He wore a mask because I asked him to, but the rest of them, a bunch of redneck, hillbillies. Anyway, here we are back. I'm going to continue my discussion today about auctions and choice. I'm going to try to wrap it up today, kind of. I could talk about this for the rest of the year and make a video every other day. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about one more example of choice that I won't forget. Yeah, he wanted me to tell you that his brother's coming back, but his brother got COVID and had to be quarantined and had a little, yeah, right. I thought he's going to already be back. I thought Monday. No, your mom, your mom had to go get him. She left yesterday. Your mom had to go all the way to Florida to get him. Henrietta. She drive an old Corvette? No. Her boyfriend's truck. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. He didn't know it either till she wanted to borrow his truck. That's rich. Yeah, nice truck. Almost new. 2008. Well, that's almost new. You got, I guess that's almost new compared to a 58 Corvette. She went down there to get him in the truck. Well, I thought he had a car. Thought he had his car down there. He run out of money, and Tamika stole his car and went home. Where? Tennessee. Mississippi. Went home to Mississippi. Did he call a police? Tunica. She lives in Tunica. Called the police. Police found his car in Memphis. Well, did he get his car back? No motor, no transmission, no wheels and tires, and the car had been set on fire. And Tamika's, yeah. All right. Anything else you want? Going to interrupt me again? Get all that. His brother got COVID and ran out of money, and Tamika stole his car and went home to Tunica. So Henrietta had to go get him. No, we'll talk about that some other time. These people don't care about Henrietta's boyfriend. No. I'll talk to you about it, and then if I might put it in a later video. I don't know. Right. Okay, where was I? Auctions and selling choice. Some of you may remember this, and some of you aren't old enough to remember it, but used to, when you went to an auction, it was an all-day event. It was usually on Saturday. Just a few auctioneers started having auctions in the middle of the week by the 1970s. Every once in a while, they'd have one on Wednesday. And our auctions here in our county, if they had it on Wednesday, they usually had it at the National Guard Armory, but sometimes on site. But most auctioneers had their sales on Saturday. Now some of the ones that's more successful could have 2 sales a week if they wanted to, and they did to try to keep ahead of the rest of them. We had more than one auctioneer that's doing pretty good in the county at that time. And I'm going to talk about them in a future video and talk to you about the auctioneers that we had, different kinds of auctioneers. But today we're trying to wrap this little series up that I've been doing about choice. And I'm telling you that auctions mostly were on Saturday, auctions mostly were on site, and auctions mostly people planned for them like they're going to be an all-day event. They got up, went somewhere and had breakfast usually, or had breakfast at home, and then they went to auction, try to get there 8:30 or 9, something like that. The auction usually started at 9. And people planned to be there. I mean, the serious auction goers, they planned to be there before it opened at 9, and still be there when the last hammer went down about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's the way it was. And the auctioneers started out with stuff that they'd drug out from under the kitchen cabinets and out of the corners of the garage, and stuff that had been in the attic, and all kinds of different stuff in the top cabinets in the kitchen and stored in the closet, and is all out there lined up in a row. And none of it amounted to much. Every once in a while something good to get mistakenly put in there, but most of this stuff was what I'm going to call trash. Although some of it's good trash. I mean, if you went to auction to buy dishwashing soap, you could go down there and buy a practically new bottle for nothing in a box with a bunch of other stuff. Paint thinner, and old paint, and just all kinds of stuff like that the auctioneer started the auction out on. And he did that because everybody didn't get there on time, and he wanted to get a good crowd with good buyers. He wanted to get the people that was there warmed up, and he wanted to give them the latecomers a little bit more chance to get there. He looked at it, he checked with his clerk, he had 64 numbers out, and that wasn't enough. He wanted to get up above 100. So he started his sale with this, I want to call it trash. And when they were selling that, it was the kind of stuff you couldn't get a bid on. And back in those days, the auctioneer let you start something for a quarter. If you bid a quarter, they'd hammer a little bit for 50 cents, $1, I've even seen them start stuff for a dime. But those days are gone. But anyway, they'd start that stuff out, and they'd hold something up, and if they couldn't get a bid on it, they'd hold 3 or 4 things up, and then finally they'd say, we're going to sell choice from here to Leroy down there. Leroy, hold your hand up. All right, from here to Leroy, we're going to sell choice. And they'd sell choice like that to get rid of this junk. And they'd also tell them, when you buy it, don't leave it sitting here. Don't rummage through it and get what you want and leave the rest of it here for us to clean up. We want you to take it with you. And of course, back in those days, it was on site, and they didn't always take it with them. And the auctioneer didn't have the auctioneer Nazi patrol making sure they did take it with them like they do nowadays. But anyway, that was a form of choice that they used to sell stuff that they couldn't get bids started on. Nowadays, they don't have that situation at most auctions. First of all, they don't start out selling that kind of stuff. They start out selling good stuff nowadays because they know their crowd ain't going to be there at the end. They got the best crowd they're going to have right now up until about noon. And at noon, them people are going they're going to buy them a hamburger or a hot dog or a piece of cobbler or something like that. And then when that's done, a lot of them are going to be leaving. If you go to an auction and you show up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I mean, half the crowd's already gone. And the auctioneer knows that. So he starts out nowadays with the good stuff, and all this, what I'm going to call trash, ends up being at the end. The difference is, especially when you're going to an auction where there's more than one consignor. It's not an estate sale with one person. It's 3 or 4 different, 5 different people brought stuff into the auction barn or the auction house or the pavilion, one guy liked to call his place. They bring it in there and it's sold, and everybody it isn't just one person owning all this stuff. It's not an estate sale like it used to be in 1972. It's an auction with different consigners. And that kind of stuff that gets brought in there by the different, the stuff that got hauled out of the, underneath the kitchen cabinets and out of the attic, all that kind of stuff, it's all over there on tables. And then there's other stuff that's people hauled in there with that. And sometimes on a given day, there's a lot of good stuff over in there. But they still, rather than sort it out and sell it like I think they ought to, they just march through it in order to get, what they do is the regular sales starts at 9:30, and they start selling stuff, and they got all this good stuff up front, or some of it ain't any better than that stuff out there, and some of it ain't as good. But this stuff here belongs to the main consignee, and that stuff out there, they've usually got a tractor or a snowmobile or a couple of 4-wheelers or a late model car and an old pickup, something like that. If they got big items like that to sell, they advertise that they're going to sell those at noon because they want the biggest crowd to be there when they sell that kind of stuff. Give the latecomers a chance to get there and give everybody else something to wait around on. That's why the crowd leaves right after noon. Some of the people just waited around to see what that stuff was going to bring, or they waited around because they came to buy that stuff. And then afternoon, the place where I go the most, they break up in 2 rings. They got the main auctioneer up here trying to sell the rest of the good stuff, and then they got another auctioneer out there. In this case, it's a son-in-law, and they treat him like a son-in-law. They got him out there trying to sell, not like I treat my son-in-laws, but the proverbial son-in-law. He's out there trying to sell this other stuff, and his goal is to get through this massive amount of hard-to-sell stuff and end up at the same time or before the main auctioneer gets done selling what the rest of the good stuff. And so, and they sell it choice, a table at a time or 2 tables at a time or a row at a time. They'll step up there and they'll say, everything on this table or everything on this table and that table, I'm going to sell choice of it, and when you get to where you won't bid of it, I'm going to lump it together and sell it all. And that's the way they do it. And they got some minimum bid that they make you start with, and that's the way they sell all that stuff. And that's a whole different ball game of choice, because some of these boxes or stacks of stuff are worth $1 or $2 or 50 cents or nothing. I mean, some of it you'd have to pay me to haul it off. But in there, in from here to there, where they're selling from, there might be something in there that's worth $200, and there might be 3 or 4 other things in there that's worth $100 and $75 and $25. And so you got everybody gathered around. You got half the crowd left in the place, sometimes more than that. Some people, they come there for this event, not that one. And they're out there trying to buy this stuff. And it becomes a circus almost. Because you're standing there bidding and you're wanting that thing right there, and it's worth about $40. And if you're like me, if it's worth $40, you're willing to pay about $15 for it, because you're bidding against all these other people and you don't even know what they're bidding on. They may be bidding on the thing I want or not. The thing I want's love to last a long time. And so you have to stand there and listen to them sell choice, and he has a guy starting him that's wanting something, and he'll start him for the same amount, whatever it happens to be, $25 if he's got him that high, or 5 or 10, whatever it is. And then they'll go up from there. And they'll get up, and you know that thing over there is worth $200, but you don't want one. Well, I mean, you don't need one. You've already got one. And you bought yours at an auction for $85. Why would you want to pay $200 for that one, even if it's worth $200 if you don't need it and don't have a market to sell it? So you wait, and they sell. They get up to about $115, and you think, well, somebody will get a good buy on that. And the bidding stops, and he says, oh, how many do you want, sir? And he said, I just want one. He walks over and picks out something else you hadn't even noticed. And probably wasn't worth $115. I mean, it was worth something, but wasn't what you expected to go first. And so then they started all over again, and the same two people that was bidding the last time bidding again. And the guy that got his thing, he dropped out of the group. He was part of the group. And it gets up. This time it goes to $85. And you say, well, now they're going to take that. No, guy comes up there and he digs something else out. He says, I want this. Everybody watched him. Is that all you want? Yeah, that's all I want. They started over again. And it might be, they might get down to, I don't know, the next time instead of $85, it might bring $120 again because somebody else walked up there and saw something they wanted. So that's the way choice is. You can't tell what they're bidding on. And whenever it's a situation like that, I never bid what I would have bid if they were selling what I wanted. They're selling what I wanted, and I thought it was worth $100 to me, then I'm going to stand there and bid $100 on it and either own it or not own it. But when they're selling it that way, I just got a rule. I don't do it. They're selling something's worth $100 to me. They're lucky if I'm going to bid $60 on it. That's about what I try to do. Get it for 60% or less than what I would have paid for it normally. And the cheaper kind of a thing it is, the more that goes down. I might only be willing to pay 40% what I normally would have paid for something that they're selling that way, because I have no clue. You don't know what they're selling. You don't know what that lady with the bonnet on wants. You don't know what that man over there with a cigar in his mouth that ain't lit. You don't know what he wants. You don't know what that guy down there with his mask down there around his neck like this, you don't know what he wants. They're selling choice, but you ain't got no idea what they're maybe going to buy. Now, some of this crowd, every once in a while there's a guy in there and he's like you and he likes the same kind of things that you do. And when it gets down there to the level where he might be wanting what I want, maybe I'll raise my sights a little bit. I'll pay a little more than I would have. But usually, no. They're selling choice like that. I put myself in steal mode and I steal, or I don't buy anything. And a lot of other people do that too, because they're all, most of these people that are out in here, there's a woman here and a man there and somebody over here that they want something in there. The rest of these people are there to get a bargain because they're going to take it somewhere else and sell it. And they're going to be standing around there when the auctioneer says, does anybody bid whatever his minimum is for choice? Nobody will do it. And then he'll say, okay, I'm going to, from here to there, I'm selling all of it for one money. And he'll take $1 now, and they started out at $1, and from here to there might bring $70, or it might bring $4. Who knows? There's real bargains to be had there. The thing that you can't do is get in there and compete for the good stuff that you want unless it's something that you really want, something that you're going to take home with you and keep. And it's got a value and you're buying it way under the money. You can buy it, bid on it then. But if you're bidding for resale, you got to just steal it. At least that's what I think. And that's what I'm telling you, the auction goer, that you need to do if you're in there trying to buy bargains. Because otherwise, you're going to end up with a bunch of that stuff, and when you die, they're going to have an auction. They're going to do it the same way, and your wife's going to stand there and say, boy, I wonder what he paid for all this, because they're just giving it away. And when I come home with a truckload of stuff like that, my wife says, what in the world did you buy that for? And I'll hold up one thing, and I'll say, I wanted this. And I was willing to pay $10 for it, and I got all this other stuff trying to buy it for nothing. She said, what did you pay for that? And I said, I got this and all that stuff there for $4. So that's another method of selling choice. I don't like that method. If they were selling my stuff like that, I wouldn't like it because they give too much of it away. I don't like it because I can't tell what I'm bidding on. Even when I'm the buyer, I don't like it. But once in a while, when you're the buyer and you're willing to be patient and realize that they're going to do this again next week, and they're going to do it again the week after that and the week after that, you don't have to buy it all today. When you get that in your head, then you can make some money when they're selling it like that, whether you like it or not. I don't like it, but it's profitable to be there. I think that's about all the advice I'm going to give you about that. There's more good advice to be had about a sale that's like that, but I'm not going to give it to you because, yeah, I am too. I don't care if you live in my area and it's going to mess up my sale or my idea of how things ought to be. The other thing about it is if there's nothing in that regular sale that I just really, really want, and I'm really, really what's the word I want? I'm willing to pay up for something because it's something that's unusual and cool, and I want it and like it. I'm going to bring it home, put it in this room. If it's something like that, then I don't need to go to that sale until noon. I mean, if I just want to go watch stuff sell, I can go at 9:30 or 10 and watch that good stuff sell. If there's something in there I really want, then I can try to buy it, and every once in a while I can buy something. But really, I can't. Most sales, I can't buy anything till they get to that junk. So why should I even go? Sleep in, drink coffee with the wife, come around the house a little bit, and get there about 11:30 where I can assess the crowd, look around, see if there's something that I want to make sure I see it sell while I'm over here, and then go over here and make myself a little map of where the good things are that I want to be standing there at the table when they sell them, and develop a strategy. But don't waste your time going at wearing yourself out going early. You don't have to. Just be there when they get ready to this stuff. And every once in a while you'll run into a deal like I did. Those of you that watch my videos might remember thrifter, junker, vintage hunter, Misty Pate lives in my hometown. And if you watch her videos, you knew the kind of stuff that she sells. Well, I watched her videos, knew the kind of stuff she sells too. And they had a bunch of stuff that she sells one day, unadvertised stuff. It didn't appear in the regular auction ad. Somebody had an antique shop a long time ago, and they closed it down a long time ago, boxed all that stuff up, and put it in boxes, and they finally got over it, or else they died, and their heirs got over it, and they decided to sell all this stuff. They brought it all out, and they hauled it all down to this auction I'm talking about. And it wasn't advertised. People that looked at the sale bill every week, they didn't know that all this stuff was in there. The stuff that was advertised that day was for crusty old guys like me, tools and stuff like that over there where they're selling the good stuff. And all this trash was over here. But only it wasn't trash to a certain amount of people. Women and people like that buy that, the kind of people that get on Misty's website and buy that stuff. This was good stuff to them, but they wasn't there because they didn't see it in the auction. So there I was in this dilemma that I knew this was good stuff, and I could have bought, I probably could have spent $700-800 that day buying that stuff. And I could have sold it to Misty and made a lot of money doing it. I'd have had to sell it to her. I couldn't have sold it to her all at once. I'd have had to say, I got this stuff, and got her out there looking, and then showed her some of it and kept the rest of it hid. I mean, because she's just like everybody else. When she seen I had all that stuff, it'd have been more money than she wanted to spend at one time. And the supply and demand, she knew that that kind of stuff gives me the hives. I couldn't have it sitting around here. And she'd have stole my stuff. The way it was, most people's way of thinking she stole my stuff, but I made about 400 or 500% on what I bought that day, and then she's going to make 300, 400, 500% on it when she sells it. That's good for both of us. But that was the kind of thing. I was at that sale. They had all that stuff. They were selling it the way they sell every week. It just that this week there was some stuff that I knew where I had a market for it, and so I put myself in steal mode, and I stole everything I bought. I waited till they got right down to where this and this and this from here to here. You're buying it for this, and I bought 3 or 4 items in there that was worth $40, $50, $60 a piece, and I bought the whole thing for $4 or $5. And I saw a lot of that same kind of stuff go where somebody actually wanted something that was in there, and somebody bid $28 and took a box, or somebody bid $42 and took a box, but I let all them people have it if I didn't get in there and fight with them. That's what you got to do at an auction like that. And there's lots of auctions like that nowadays, because that's the way the auctioneers do it. They're too daggone I don't know whether they're too busy, they're too lazy, they're too uninformed, or they just don't want to work that hard, or what their deal is, but that's the way they do with stuff like that. You just have to, all you got to do is understand that that's what they're going to do. So some of them people that's buying that stuff are other auctioneers, and they're doing just what I'm doing. They're taking it, and then they're taking it and sorting out that good stuff, taking it and putting it in a place where their crowd comes to buy that, and they're selling it one at a time, but they bought it. They put themselves in steal mode and bought a whole bunch of it for nothing. Another little lesson about auctioneers and auctions today. And I think I'm going to give up on it right there and talk about something else toward the end of this video today. Those of you sitting there might have noticed behind me, and maybe you didn't, there's a sign hanging up on my cabinet back there. It's going to hang there for a while, unless somebody says, "Hey, I seen that sign, I want to buy it." It might disappear like that. But my brother called me the other day, and he said, somebody's calling me. I'm going to have to answer the phone. Hello. Hello. It is Luke. Yeah. I bet. Squirrel. Yeah. Yeah, I know who the squirrel is. Yes. A similar wheelbarrow to that, but smaller. Yeah. I have the wherewithal to make you a wheelbarrow like you want. I know. Yeah, I know that. Yes, the number you called is a cell phone. It used to be my landline, but I converted it. I have one. I'm sitting here making a video right now. I was making a video, and I had to stop and answer the phone. She may have told you that I make videos, but well, okay. I have one. I have one hanging on the wall. I'm looking at it from right here, but I can't. It's not for sale. My brother had flowers in it, and I can't tell you who it was. Someone in my family died, and my brother had him send it to me from the flower shop with flowers in it. It is. It's a cell phone. It used to be, but whenever I finally broke down and got a cell phone, I had this number made my cell phone number. Yes, they did. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at that hanging on the wall. So I could make another one similar to that. I think I might even have some old wheelbarrow sides here. That the thing, what you should do, just come out here and look. Just come out here and I do. I do make stuff like that. I have reclaimed wood. I have everything you need. I have everything you need. The only thing is, you need to really. Well, hold on just a minute. Okay, here I'm back. I don't know. Probably end up editing. I know I'll edit all that dead space out there where I went over on the other side of the barn, but that was. Usually I'm out here and I don't bring my phone with me, and I brought it today, and so I got a call. Somebody wanting a hard time Sky to build him a wheelbarrow, and uh, probably that's what's going to happen. She's going to send me pictures. I'm going to send her pictures. We're going to determine what she wants. I'm going to set a price, and she'll pay the price. She'll get a wheelbarrow like she wants. If she won't pay the price, then she's going to have to keep looking for a wheelbarrow. So I started out talking about this sign behind me. It's a sign my brother made the other day, and has something to do with the outcome of the election. I'm not even going to get involved in any discussions about that, but it's the Now What Bar and Grill, and I told him I'd put my sign up in his one of my videos. He likes to watch my videos, so he thought the sign looked good in the background on a video, and so I told him I'd do it. I got another sign over there I'm going to put up later, but there's a sign. My brother makes signs like that. The sign's for sale. I don't know exactly what he wants for it, but they're usually, if it's a sign you like, you can get together with him on it. So might let me know if that sign's something you're interested in. This video, that phone call messed this video up to the point that I'm just going to end it right now. Shut it off, go load it in my computer, see what I have to do to edit it and get it like I want it. And then I'm going to make another video, but I think probably what's going to end up the end of this video is people are going to see, a little action from the real life of the Hard Times Sky. Until the next time, have a good day.